evening, viewers. You are watching Dudarshan Meghalaya, and now we bring to you today's news bulletin. Before going to the details, let's take a quick look at the headlines. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma seeks detailed report on arson attack case in Shillong. Meghalaya Democratic Alliance 2 candidate for Rajya Sabha Chief Sangma files nomination. Centre assures supplies of crude oil, LPG and natural gas remain stable across the country. West Asia situation. And Meghalaya emerges overall champion at the 7th National Youth Muay Thai Championship in Uttarakhand. The news in detail. First, the local news. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma on Monday said he is yet to receive a complete report regarding incidents of vehicles being set on fire in different parts of Shillong. Responding to media queries, the Chief Minister said he would seek detailed information before drawing any conclusions. He stated that based on the information available so far, the incidents do not appear to be a major law and order issue. Sangma added that the matter could possibly be an isolated incident. He assured that the government would examine the issue thoroughly after receiving the necessary reports.
That is what we are asking. Is it the law and order?
No, I have not got the full reports on this. It may have been there, but I mean, yesterday I was out in lunch program, and then I had gone to Viger, so I have not sat down with my team. I have not got the reports yet. Maybe the reports must have come in writing to the house. I have not been able to check that. So yeah, it could be there. I'll find out what's happening, and then maybe later on I can explain to you. But there is, I mean, it doesn't look like any major law and order as such, as you mentioned, because definitely the news would have come. So it could be a isolated incident, but I'll definitely look into it. Thank you.
Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma on Monday said that building and sustaining a political party requires far more than launching a public movement or campaign. Responding to questions on youth voters and emerging political formations, he noted that political parties must meet constitutional and organizational requirements. The Chief Minister said social media has become a powerful platform for connecting with people on various issues. However, he stressed that a movement is only the beginning and that there is a long journey ahead. Sangma stated that running a political party demands consistency, stability, and strong organizational management. He added that the true test of a political party lies in its ability to serve people effectively over the long term.
I really have no real comments on the political party as such, because a party requires an organization. Party requires a certain base and certain constitutional aspects. So I think as and when the party builds up into an organization, only then we'll be able to comment. Right now, yes, there is a certain wave, and that happens in today's world. Social media is very powerful, and so it is very possible to connect to different issues and different programs or different stands that different individuals may take. But a political party is beyond just a movement that is to be there. The movement is the beginning. So therefore there's a long way to go. So we'll have to wait and watch and see how things happen, how they shape up. As I said, running a political organization is not so simple. There are a lot of challenges, and I think the consistency and the stability and how you are able to run the party in the long run is really what matters.
NPP leader James P.K. Sangma on Monday filed his nomination papers for the Rajya Sabha election from Meghalaya with the support of MDA alliance partners. Speaking after filing his nomination, Sangma thanked the people of Meghalaya, alliance partners and party leaders for backing his candidature. He said several important issues concerning the state have remained pending and need to be raised at the national level. Sangma pledged to represent Meghalaya's interests in the Rajya Sabha with dedication and sincerity. He said that if elected unopposed, he would consider it a privilege to represent the entire state in the parliament. The NPP leader also indicated his intention to complete the full 6-year Rajya Sabha term.
First of all, very grateful to the people of Meghalaya and also especially to our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Conrad Sangma, all the Deputy Chief Ministers, both of them, Ba Preston and Bas Neobha, all our Honorable Ministers, our MLAs, and also our alliance partners from the UDP, the HSPDP, the BJP and the Independents for having supported my candidature to the Council of States Rajya Sabha. And I will look at how many of the issues, both which have been pending for a long time, and also issues which we as a state must collectively look at navigating in the future. These are the issues that I intend to be very vocal about in the upper house in Rajya Sabha, so that the voice of Meghalaya can be heard in the parliament in Rajya Sabha.
Family Welfare Minister Wailat Miki Shilla inspected the Ummulang Community Health Centre following its approval for upgradation into an integrated hospital. The proposed project will be developed at an estimated cost of Rs 53 crore. During the visit, the minister reviewed the site along with health officials, engineers and local leaders. He said the inspection was conducted to facilitate preparation of the detailed project report and initiate the tendering process. Shilla expressed hope that construction work would begin at the earliest for the benefit of the public. The upgraded hospital will cater to residents of Thatlasken and Namdong CNRD blocks.
There you like inspect langi when kat health engineering wing. There need a line spot kenang you ready no di DPR. Kenang you no put it tender. Dia bak ke jingkwa ke nga wo stang as soon as possible ya ni. Ya ni dep te kwa le mu mo yo sangat soman le to pendep dia kat ye la kat was smart. Dia bak kwa ga inaugurate ni tau upgrade dia naga CHC saga integrated hospital. Dan ini naga 30 bedded to 50 bedded hospital. Ini ga CHC man center bhag. Ni bha man center bhag suk bhag khamtam ke connectivity temut 12 lai gi bru chaga civilian long dan ni 12 poi gi chaga MCH jwai te yoi to bi pass through dia ka CHC umulong ni te daw yoi to location wise yang bhag to sai win le cater go yite gi area ko tharas ke area chi ki chawa kham jo e ga nam dong ko man la dapat ye ki data rap man yoi rap lu mut ke hawro ki scheme la ne ga kini ki data la dapat ki mat guna ha ni te daw mkam upun klan ya kanika either infrastructure la ni manpower ye big area chi.
Nongstoin MLA Gabriel Walang distributed financial assistance to differently abled persons and elderly residents aged 80 years and above at a program held in Bishop Hall, Nongstoin. The event witnessed the participation of beneficiaries from across the Nongstoin constituency. Leaders of the National People's Party and local party functionaries were also present during the distribution program. Addressing the gathering, Walang expressed concern over the hardships faced by senior citizens who continue to work despite their advanced age. He said efforts are being made to identify all elderly residents above 80 years and ensure that assistance reaches every deserving beneficiary. The MLA also assured support for differently abled persons, irrespective of whether they possess disability certificates.
Kumoi na kumta ni kaplong kumta hinay mo yabaro. Nanta yakini di baru tama na kwa bandung sisir kuni. Bangin ya itu bangin yo kata sini kendo. Bagi kita kita prabu sedang kita katong ha kani ka nong spot ko fungsi bi ko chu. Teman-teman yeli bagi kita katni balanang lek balale. Bakani ka jingle ka cuma kamdei ko ba gile tangan ni. Itu di bom syambla yo lagi dari disable dibalik ba donat khotmet lagi dari bom propose dan ngilawan hamman lagi snong hanlei dalai hamman lagi snong lada himpadon nakales ro wat khuslai hin sayobe kamdon uwei ro uong ba nan lada bidon certificate ne bidon ro hin yo be baro Namar wateng teng kyo ngamdon sakit namla kyo. Aray ko ibi don ru abalay ginayo ya baro.
In Ribhoi district on Monday with a program held at the Science Hall in Nongpo. The event was organized under the theme From Burden to Solution, Safe Food Everywhere, to promote awareness on food safety and public health. Deputy Commissioner of Ribhoi, Dr. Abhishek Saini, highlighted the importance of ensuring safe, hygienic and nutritious food for consumers. He said food safety is a shared responsibility between regulatory authorities and food business operators. As part of the program, 42 food business operators and establishments were honored for maintaining high standards of food safety. The event also sought to encourage best practices and strengthen efforts towards ensuring safe food for all.
But I think food safety is something that should come from within, from your side. And each one of us, when we go to a restaurant or to a dhaba, the first thing we want to ensure is that the food is hygienic, clean, and cooked in a proper environment. That is non-negotiable. Rest other things can be little up or down, maybe lighting or all. That is okay. But if there is no food safety, then the persons will not like to eat there. So I would urge all the food business operators to take this as a moral responsibility rather than something that we should be enforcing or we should be telling you. This should come from your side that my restaurant, my dhaba, my hotel should have the most hygienic, the cleanest food possible.
31 computer sets were distributed to 31 area employment councils under Nongpo constituency on Monday under the Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan or RGSA scheme. The computers were handed over by Nongpo MLA Miralbon Aim in the presence of block officials and village headmen. The RGSA scheme aims to strengthen local governance institutions and improve the implementation of government programs. It also seeks to promote rural development and help villages achieve sustainable development goals. The computers will assist villages in carrying out administrative and developmental activities more effectively. The initiative is expected to enhance grassroots governance and support local development efforts.
Kita sibuk di program di baga sorkar pedeng ke penteri kam dan di balala dan pendurlong dan di balalong dan di panlong dan di penteri kam mentah dan di keladep dan mentah. Semarang tahu ini apa ni pej yang kerteng di AEC mentah dan juga function betul. Itu ada di along the director Village Employment Council VEC. Di Juma awal kata tahu kini di penteri set up kapal Islam ini berfungsi. Agaba hab dan pendep yang memiliki program skim hotel ibarat sorkar kadang berkonvoy dan bersuk na kebentak jom ki VEC EAC dan terekam komputer di printer nak dia bantai dia print dia pendekam dia report dia kemudian diikut Islam bagi suku lagi diterekam ke sorkar gelap, sorkar pedeng mentah, kita pun hari paperwork.
Mawsynram and Sora will soon be directly connected through a new road link and bridge over the Omyam River. Mawsynram MLA Olan Singh Sun said the project will improve connectivity and reduce travel time between the two destinations. He informed that the Plangwan Broy Ranikor Road is already under construction under World Bank funding. The Wailoi Plangwan Broy Road is currently under the tendering process and is expected to be finalized by June. Sun expressed confidence that the projects will be completed within the next 1 to 2 years. He said improved road infrastructure will boost tourist arrivals and support the growth of the local tourism sector.
That Mawsynram and Cherrapunji should be connected directly. It is not that we have to go through the southern fringe or the northern fringe of the... We have to see that these should be connected directly from Mawsynram to Cherrapunji. And this matter I have discussed also with the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, President Tensong, 2 days before, that I want to see that this road, Cherrapunji and Mawsynram, should be connected through Dosau Road, Dosau to Nowar. For on either sides, if the roads, if these roads can reach up to both of the river banks, it can only be connected by the bridge. So once this bridge can be constructed, then Cherrapunji and Mawsynram can be connected directly through Dosau and Nowar. So this, I wish that it should happen one day. Then we can see the flow of tourists. And if this happens, then Cherrapunji and Mawsynram will become one circuit.
Now for the regional news. A high-level Team Europe delegation of the European Union arrived in Guwahati on Monday for a 2-day visit aimed at strengthening cooperation with India's northeastern states. The visit seeks to advance collaboration opportunities in line with the comprehensive strategic agenda agreed upon by India and the European Union. Discussions will focus on sectors including renewable energy, sustainable urban infrastructure, healthcare, semiconductors, electronics manufacturing, tea and agri-food processing, and Ayush. The delegation includes ambassadors and senior representatives from EU member states along with European business leaders. The visit aims to explore investment opportunities and strengthen economic partnerships across the Northeast region. The delegation is led by Hervé Delphin, Ambassador of the European Union to India and Bhutan.
It's my third visit in Assam. It's, as the slogan says, it's the gateway to goodness, so I really like this place and I look forward to the meetings we're going to have with the CM. And thank you.
A special court dedicated to National Investigation Agency cases has been inaugurated in Manipur. The court has been established to strengthen the judicial system and ensure speedy handling of NIA-related cases in the state. Officials said the initiative reflects the commitment to national security, access to justice and the rule of law. The inauguration marks a significant step in the ongoing development of judicial infrastructure in Manipur. The project was made possible through the cooperation of the Union Government, State Government and the High Court. Authorities said the court will play an important role in enhancing the delivery of justice in the state. Let's take a look at the national news. The government has assured that supplies of crude oil, LPG and natural gas remain stable across the country despite the ongoing situation in West Asia. Additional Secretary Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas Praveen Mal Khanuja said adequate stocks are available and there have been no reports of shortages at LPG distributorships. According to him, domestic LPG production has been ramped up, with refineries and fractionators producing around 52 to 53,000 metric tons per day. This is nearly 60% higher than pre-crisis production levels. He also said LPG delivery backlogs have been reduced to less than 4 days, while 99% of cylinder bookings are being made online. The government has assured consumers that fuel supplies remain secure and uninterrupted.
Despite the ongoing situation in West Asia, supplies of crude oil, LPG and natural gas, they remain stable. And we have adequate stocks of petrol, diesel and LPG which are available in the country. Coming to LPG, the domestic LPG production has been maximized. In fact, yesterday on the LPG day, World LPG Day, our domestic refineries and fractionators, they produce 53 TMT per day, about 52, 53 TMT per day. This is 60% more than the pre-crisis levels. We haven't had any news of dry out at LPG distributorships. LPG backlogs have now reached less than 4 days. Online LPG cylinder bookings have reached 99% and DAC, delivery authentication code, is about 96%.
The centre has assured that there is no major challenge in the availability of fertilizers for the ongoing Kharif season. Officials said farmers have already purchased 86.65 lakh metric tons of fertilizers, accounting for over 22% of the seasonal requirement. The use of organic manure has also increased significantly, with procurement reaching 11.17 lakh metric tons compared to 3.20 lakh metric tons during the same period last year. Domestic production and imports of fertilizers are continuing, with 147.40 lakh metric tons produced or imported so far. More than 25,000 metric tons of imported urea, DAP and NPK fertilizers have arrived at ports in June, while a tender for 17 lakh metric tons of urea is under process. The government said the situation is being closely monitored to ensure uninterrupted availability of fertilizers and raw materials.
The purchase of fertilizer has been about 86.65 lakh metric ton for the ongoing Kharif. That is approximately 22.57% of the total requirement. Besides, I would like to apprise that the farmers have also procured 11.17 lakh metric ton of organic manure in the season compared to 3.20 LMT during the corresponding. It's a positive trend towards greater adoption of the organic nutrient sources.
And here are the top international stories. Pope Leo met Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez ahead of his address to Spain's lower house of parliament on Monday. The address marks a rare papal speech before a national legislature and the first by a pope to the Spanish parliament. During his week-long visit, Pope Leo has met migrants and homeless people and called for greater social unity. The pontiff has also urged political leaders to avoid deepening divisions within society. His visit will conclude with a meeting with migrants in the Canary Islands, a key entry point for migrants seeking to reach Europe. Spain's government has recently launched a mass amnesty program for allowing hundreds of thousands of immigrants to apply for legal status. Iran's ambassador to Russia, Qasem Jalali, has said the Strait of Hormuz will remain open but under new conditions to be determined by Iran and Oman. According to the ambassador, ships using the strategic waterway may be required to pay transit fees for services provided by the two countries. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most important energy routes, through which a significant share of global oil shipments pass. Oil and liquefied natural gas flows through the strait have been severely affected by the ongoing conflict involving Iran. Iran has argued that any long-term peace arrangements should allow it to levy charges on vessels passing through the strait. The proposal has been opposed by the United States, which has warned against any move to impose transit tolls. And in sports. Meghalaya Cricket Association President James P.K. Sangma on Monday said efforts are underway to resolve pending salary issues affecting MCA staff. He stated that the association has been dealing with long-standing challenges and legacy issues that have impacted its operations. Sangma assured that steps are being taken to clear pending salaries for both office and support staff at the earliest. On allegations of sexual harassment within the association, he said an internal complaints committee should examine such matters. He added that the MCA is awaiting a report from the Meghalaya State Women's Commission regarding the issue. Sangma said appropriate action will be taken once the report is received and its findings are reviewed.
This is an internal matter of the MCA. Of course, I don't shy away from the fact that there are problems. These are problems which have been going on for a very long time, legacy issues, and because of those kind of challenges and those kind of problems that certain processes have come to a stop, but we expect to resolve all those kind of problems and issues at the earliest so that the salaries can be addressed. I'm very, very concerned about the staff, be it the support staff or the office staff. So we are trying very hard to ensure that we can resolve that at the earliest.
The Muay Thai Association of Meghalaya felicitated athletes who excelled at the 7 UMAI National Youth Muay Thai Championships held in Uttarakhand from 1st to 5th June. Meghalaya's contingent of 69 athletes won an impressive 107 medals, including 40 gold, 44 silver and 23 bronze medals. With the outstanding performance, Meghalaya emerged as the overall champion among 29 participating states. Special recognition was also accorded to Alfonsa Zinia Riang, who won a bronze medal for India at the 3rd Asian Youth Games in Bahrain. She is also set to represent India at the IFMA Youth Muay Thai World Championship in Greece later this year. The association said it will continue preparing athletes for future competitions, including the upcoming national games.
Muay Thai Association Meghalaya kena lepa ngelayo yo gold sau potuli ban ngelayo yo silver sau pusau ban ngelayo ru yo bronze kuma art teli total medal kalong sispa teli dengan semua bagadai kesin kemenkong bana kaliang jong ka Muay Thai Association kat banang mi kepor kat bani ya kepor nakawai kat tournament sakawai kat tournament ngai baki kena jungi kidon pedang kajing baki improve mah menginang kio kemudian pedia kajing tebet kajing lekan Muay Thai nang mi banang kat banang ya kepor kemudian yo ya kalat.
Now for the weather report. First, let's take a look at the weather report in Tura. Minimum temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature of 32 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 73% were recorded today. Moving on to Shillong, 18 degrees Celsius of minimum temperature, 26 degrees Celsius of maximum temperature were recorded. The relative humidity is 84% and rainfall of 5.7 millimeters were also recorded. Meanwhile, in Jowai, minimum temperature 19 degrees Celsius, maximum temperature 24 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 78% were recorded today and rainfall 3.1 millimeters. And the forecast in Tura, Shillong and Jowai says moderate rain with thunderstorm is likely to occur at many places. Before winding up this news bulletin, let's look at the headlines once again. Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma seeks detailed report on arson attack case in Shillong. Meghalaya Democratic Alliance 2 candidate for Rajya Sabha James Sangma files nomination. Centre assures supplies of crude oil, LPG and natural gas remain stable across the country amid West Asia situation. Meghalaya emerges overall champion at the 7th National Youth Muay Thai Championship in Uttarakhand. And that's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Until tomorrow, thank you for joining us and have a pleasant evening ahead.
Major Bhargav Kolita of the Kumaon Regiment of the 50th Rashtriya Rifles received the Shaurya Chakra Award. Rifleman Dhruvajyoti Datta of the 33 Assam Rifles was also awarded the Shaurya Chakra Award. The event was attended by the Vice President CP Radhakrishnan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Chief of Defence Staff General N.S. Raja Subramani and commanders of the three forces.
Major Bhargav Kolita, Kumaon Regiment, 50वीं बटालियन राष्ट्रीय राइफल्स। आपने अक्टूबर 2022 से जम्मू कश्मीर में सेवाएं देते हुए अपनी बटालियन के साथ 3 सफल ऑपरेशन में भाग लिया, जिसमें 3 आतंकी मारे गए एवं 4 ओवरग्राउंड वर्कर्स को जिंदा पकड़ा गया। 2 दिसंबर 2024 को एक आतंकी की मौजूदगी की सूचना मिलने पर आपने कुशल नेतृत्व करते हुए एक अचूक घात लगाया, जिसके फलस्वरूप इस आतंकी को मार गिराया गया। उच्च कोटि की नेतृत्व क्षमता तथा अद्वितीय वीरता के लिए आपको शौर्य चक्र से सम्मानित किया जाता है। मेजर भार्गव कलिता।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today highlighted the government's 12-year journey of welfare for the poor. In a social media post, he said that India has witnessed many transformations. At the core of these changes is the initiative of the welfare of the poor and backward classes. Modi added that the government has always been inspired by Antyodaya, and the effort has always been to ensure that the benefits of development reach to those who were left behind for decades. The Prime Minister underlined that every initiative like Jan Dhan accounts, direct benefit transfer or DBT, Swachh Bharat, PM Awas Yojana, Jal Jeevan Mission and Ayushman Bharat has been driven by the objective of ensuring dignity and opportunity to people. Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma today announced the portfolio allocation for the 12 newly inducted cabinet ministers after receiving approval from Governor Lakshman Prasad Acharya. The Chief Minister retained key departments including Home and Political, Public Works Department, Power and Information and Public Relations, along with departments not assigned to other ministers. Dr. Ranuj Pegu continued with the education portfolio, while Jayanta Malla Borua was entrusted with the Finance Department. Ashok Singhal retained the Health and Family Welfare as well as Medical Education and Research portfolios. The 12 ministers had taken oath on June 5th, while the Chief Minister and 4 other ministers were sworn in on May 12th in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In Arunachal, BJP's Rajya Sabha candidate Tai Tagak filed his nomination today at the Arunachal Legislative Assembly Secretariat. Chief Minister Pema Khandu, Home Minister Mama Natung, Education Minister Pasang Dorji Sona, BJP's Arunachal in charge Ashok Singhal, along with several other senior BJP leaders were present on the occasion. It is noteworthy that the BJP has fielded a senior leader and former state president Tai Tagok as its candidate for Arunachal Pradesh's lone Rajya Sabha seat. Khandu in social media post has said that the candidate brings vast experience and an unwavering commitment to the people of Arunachal Pradesh.